Hey everyone, welcome in! This is episode 16 of my survival series, Pixels and Petals. Today's video is all about terraforming, landscaping, and prepping the earth for some fun new builds. I have some really big projects coming up, like a great big castle, so I wanted to get a bunch of land plots ready for those projects. I'm currently in a backup of my world. It's completely empty and I wanted to show you what my world looked like before I set foot in it. For some time now, I'll hop on Minecraft, sometimes even when I'm not recording, just to potter about and do some terraforming. I really love sculpting the land and planning out ideas for the space. And I think it's really cool to look back on what it once looked like, to then go to my own world and see all the changes I've made. Breaking down mountains and creating brand new ones, sculpting islands and carving hilltops. It's all art and creativity and it's a lot of fun. I have so many plans for future projects, so that's why I've cleared so much land around the place. I really enjoy having this backup of the world being completely empty, getting to look back on what it once was. I really recommend if you have or want to have a forever world, keep a copy of it completely untouched so that you can look back and compare how far you've come with your creations. I'm setting up a little area here with chests because I know I'm going to end up with a whole bunch of random grass seeds, flowers and rocks. I'll also need a whole bunch of dirt for the terraforming, so I'll keep some of that here too. On this island off the mainland, I want to create a big farming area where farmers can live and grow all their crops for the kingdom to eat fresh produce, maybe keep some farm animals here as well. So I'm just starting out by carving the land. I want it to look really natural, so I'm going for smoother lines, avoiding harsh sharp edges and square shapes, covering up a bunch of holes and smoothing out all the plateaus. I'm just really shaping the hills as best I can. It takes a lot of trial and error, but it's really worth it when you can have this big blank canvas where you can build all kinds of creative things on it. I always find terraforming and landscaping so calming. I really enjoy putting on a podcast or catching up on some YouTube videos while doing this and just zoning out. I find it so relaxing and seeing the end result is so fun as well. It's almost like you're painting with the earth. I always feel like I have to fill in all the holes so nothing spawns in there, especially when I plan to have a lot of roaming villagers here. I don't want cats or iron golems spawning underground. This project has been progressing over weeks, so I did at some point start filling holes with carpets along the bottom, as that should stop anything from spawning, but early on I didn't have my wool farm, so carpets weren't something I had a lot of. I added in a nice big plateau for a farmhouse. The villagers who live here are going to have such a great view of the ocean. I'm really curious if they'll actually stay safe on the island though, or if they'll just go diving into the water. I also went ahead and broke down this connecting land between the farm island and a nearby piece of land. I want this to be a big standalone island only attached by bridges. While I'm trying to maintain the original shape to some extent, I am adding in a lot of extra space for more builds and crop farms. There was also this cute little cave around the front part of the island, so I want to preserve it to maybe house a couple of wild wolves, or maybe they grow mushrooms and glowberries down here. Here's a shot of the land after all my carving, an insane amount of dirt blocks being added. I love the look of all the rolling hills and the big flat bits of land, perfect for huge fields of wheat and vegetables. I've set some little different areas around where I plan to add farmhouses, silos, barns and stuff like that. Something I like to do is go to my backup world, fly up in spectator mode and take a screenshot. I'll then take that screenshot into Paint and sketch out a rough idea of what I'd like to have over the land. The area I've been working on, I plan to have a big farming area which will connect to the mainland, as well as a little flower island. And as you can see in my plans, I'd like to build a castle. So the next project is going to be prepping a ginormous piece of land for that. Back in my backup world, you can see how this piece of land was before I set foot in the world. There's a ruined portal right beside a plains village. The land is parted by a chunk of water, and there's a big, huge mountain which I'm going to have to tear down to build my castle. And that's going to be a lot of work. Then there's the land where the village thins out. That's going to be kind of like a farmland area, more so for animals though. So you can see just how much land is going to have to be changed for my vision. I've definitely got my work cut out for me. Luckily, with the power of editing, what took me weeks will be minutes for my wonderful viewers. I started out by tearing down the village. There were some really pretty horses up the mountain. I brought them down to safety before I began mining the mountain to the ground. I always have this desire to collect every horse and, well, pretty much every animal I see in the world, which is why I have such a massive menagerie at my base. Another horse for my collection. This guy was just chilling in the water, silly thing. He reminds me of Spirit. I might have to give him that on a name tag one day. They weren't in the way really, but I did find all these horses and a donkey, so they are also coming home with me. Okay, finally time to get chipping away at this mountain. It's not going to flatten itself. I think it'd be fun to make my own mountains near the kingdom one day, but for now this mountain is in a prime location I need to build. I just felt like Cusco from the Emperor's New Groove saying that. As I mentioned, this entire video was filmed over the course of weeks, so after my first mining session on the mountain, I had upgraded to Nether, which you can see in episode 13. But I spotted another horse lounging around in the water, so she was going to have to come home with me as well. I really am going to have a horse army at this point. I also decided at this point to move all these animals to the mainland. I promise one day all my horses and critters will have their own nice enclosures with barns and little horse stalls, but for now they're going to be safe in these little fences. I began flattening out the main castle area. I'm just adding torches down here for now, but one day I'll grab a whole bunch of carpets to spawn proof down there. Here's how the land is coming along so far. So much work put in, but so much yet to go. Probably way more torches than I need, but I'm really sick of creepers coming in and blowing up new holes for me to fix. I'm adding in a bunch of walls to bring the land up to the level I want. I want this whole area to just be a nice big flat plateau, a nice big empty slate to work on. Here's the shape I've got so far. Okay, at this point I'm really struggling with just how long it's taking to take this mountain down. And more importantly, my tools are constantly needing repairs. So I think it's time to 1, get a beacon sorted out, and 2, get a lot more tools with enchantments on them. And 3, some way to get a lot of XP to restore my tools with mending. So let's get started by trading with our villagers to get some more diamond tools. Mostly just interested in pickaxes and shovels right now. My main way of getting XP at the moment has just been trading with my villagers, mostly selling the toolsmith's iron bars for emeralds and selling red dye to the shepherd. Gonna grab a bunch of enchanting books like Mending and Unbreaking. Now to head out to my end portal, as I'm gonna make an Enderman farm. That seems like a really popular way of farming XP, and really doesn't look too difficult to put together, so I'm excited. To build this Enderman farm, I'm following a tutorial by Blaze Dude. I'll link the tutorial in the description below. I found it really easy to follow, although I did have to adjust one thing, so if you'd like to build this new world, take note of that. So here's me setting up the Enderman farm. It's mostly consisted of getting far away from the end island and creating a space where Endermen would spawn in a set area, and then you want to make a chamber where you can set an Endermite, which will aggro all of the Endermen, making them run into the chamber where you can smack them from the other side to get all of the XP. It got a little bit scary building out in the abyss of space, especially with so many Endermen getting in my way and pushing me around. I'm throwing a bunch of ender pearls to try and get an endermite to spawn. Then I'll push the little critter into the minecart. This little dude is going to make all the endermen run to the location we need them to. The only issue I had with this design was the enderman took out my first endermite pretty much immediately. So I had to build another layer of leaves and stuff so that the endermite was going to be just out of reach. I had to fly back home to get a new name tag. This one will be Litematica the Second. I had to farm some more ender pearls to get a new endermite to spawn. I figured it would be a lot safer to do it like this, under a short cover so they couldn't reach me with their little noodle arms. I managed to get Litematica the Second into position. And the farm was now working as intended. I set up a little enchanting table and chests for books and such. Now I can start working on some enchanted tools since I'm going through them so quickly with this project. Pretty much just try to get efficiency 5, mending and unbreaking 3 on my tools. Now I've got a bunch of those ready, I can come back here whenever I need to repair my tools. Then it was time for my very first beacon. I chose to cheese the wither fire under the bedrock like this. At some point I'd like to farm more wither skulls to get more beacons, and I definitely want to farm a bunch of wither roses as well, those are so pretty. Now I can set up a beacon with haste 2. It's going to make my pickaxe absolutely melt the mountain. It's so satisfying finally having a beacon and insta-mining stone. Just running about taking out lots of stone. I was catching up on some podcasts on my second monitor while I worked on all of this. My current favourite podcast, The Broski Report with Brittany Broski, and So True by Caleb Heron. They're both so funny. I kept having to make trips down the mountain to store all the stone away. I find I'm always running out of dirt with my terraforming, but I can't imagine I'll run out of stone anytime soon. Here's the progress so far. Still quite a long way to go. You can see the chaotic way I've mined everything, going from one section and then another without even finishing that piece. The newest update, Chase the Skies, has just dropped and I still haven't updated to the Spring of Life update. I'm 2 updates behind. It's just a little bit tricky with mods and I need some of my mods for recording. So I've just got to wait a little bit for my mods to be updated and then I'll finally update my game and I'm so excited. The other day my partner and I made a little world together and played a couple of hours on the new update, just in like a vanilla base game. And it was so exciting seeing stuff from the past 2 updates. Like the new coloured chickens, pigs and cows, and the leaf litter and the fireflies. I'll have to collect all the new variants of animals when I update my game as well. A couple of horses were hiding along the side of the mountain, so I'm going to take them somewhere safe. Oh, they're both so pretty. Some of the clips in this video are a little bit older, and I'll just say I ended up collecting a few double chests of dirt and grass plots from this project, and they're all gone now. I go through dirt so quickly with all the landscaping I do. Even though it is a lot faster tearing down the mountain with my beacon, I decided to take a little break and go in with some TNT. So I just dug a little tunnel and I'm shoving a bunch of TNT all over the place. Just planting it absolutely everywhere. I'm just going to set it off and run for my life. It definitely made short work of part of the mountain. So I went in for another round, throwing a bunch everywhere along the tunnel, scattering so much TNT everywhere. No thoughts, just lots and lots and lots of TNT. And to my surprise, the TNT went crazy and yeeted right at me. I've never had that happen to me before. What are the odds of it coming right to me? I sat there shocked for a minute. I ran back and I was so worried about my tools, armor, or elytra that may have been blown up with me. But after the biggest walk of shame, I luckily found all my stuff. I'm sure I probably lost a bunch of stone and TNT, but that's all replaceable. It would have been a nightmare replacing my armor and all these enchantments and such. Which, in saying that, I should probably make a backup set of armor and tools because I do have a tendency to die in Minecraft. And that's exactly why I don't play hardcore. But that was a little wake up call, and I'm going to take a break from using TNT. That was honestly scary. I'm going to go back to the old fashioned mining. I had to take lots of breaks to go repair my tools. I'm super glad to have an efficient way to get XP now. I've never made an Enderman farm before and it's so useful. My usual way of XP at the moment has just been trading with my villagers, or sometimes I'll just break my automatic furnace because it has a bunch of XP stored in there. Always time to stop and tame a new friend. I've collected all the variants of dogs, and in time I'd love to collect all the variants of cats as well. The progress so far, getting pretty close now. Just mining away the last chunks of the mountain. And there we have it, finally a flat plot of land. I just have to swap all these blocks for grass now. This honestly was so much more work than I had anticipated. So it feels really awesome to see no mountain behind me. I have so much space now to get started on my castle. So definitely subscribe if you'd like to see that in the future. I've cleaned the place up and I think that's really the toughest part of the project done. Now to some simpler tasks, like covering up this giant crater with dirt blocks, so we can have one huge flush bit of land. Here's what we have after placing all those grass blocks. The next thing I want to work on is adding a stone brick border all the way around. I'd like to add more blocks to the palette in the future, but for now I thought it'd be easier just to use stone bricks. I want to use the same border around all my other islands as well. This little area is going to be where the castle has a bridge meeting the main island. I want some staircases coming down from the big plot of land down here where I'm standing. And then I was thinking kind of like a drawbridge across to the mainland. I think I'll leave that part for another day and just focus on the base shape of this whole area first. So I went in and added some small ledges off the main area. I felt like this will give it a lot more dimension and detail to the area, as well as filling up some of the space as the island has kind of a strange shape at the moment. Last area to terraform in this video is going to be my mainland area. This is where I have my starter house. Here's what it looked like before I started playing in this world. Some funny shapes around the main island and a big pond in the middle. It's funny seeing it from back then because it's now completely covered in animals. I've got to start off by filling this big pond area. and then I'm going to fix up the island where it starts to break off. Luckily, I now have an insane amount of stone laying around. At this point, I now had my wool farm, so I had plenty of carpets to start spawn proofing some of the holes I was fixing up. Then I needed to work on some areas that had pens on them, so it was time to start moving the animals around a bit. Which was a bit of a task because again, big chaotic menagerie going on here. I really just moved the pens along so I could work on the space underneath them. It may take some time, but I'd like to make special homes for all the animals I've collected. Sometimes I find this area around my starter house can get a tiny bit laggy because of all the creatures. Moving my big goofy camel. I just adore the Minecraft camels. They look so silly and cute. Most of these animals don't have names yet, so when I get enough name tags, I'd like to give them all a name. Feel free to leave any suggestions for names in the comments. Fixing up more land with carpet and dirt, just really carving out and creating land to make it feel more natural. Replacing some dirt with grass blocks so it grows a bit quicker, and placing down a lot of torches. For a long time now I've had this farm area where I collect my vegetables and grab pumpkins and melons all the time to sell to my farmers. But I think it's time to break it down for now. Here's the main island after the rework. I think it came together really nicely. Again, I love the rolling hills look of the grass. I use a lot of curved shapes to get that effect. That's all the terraforming, landscaping and collapsing of mountains for today. I'm so excited to start adding a bunch of fun new builds to all this land I've now got prepared. This has taken weeks to get ready, so it feels really awesome to have it all finally completed. The next step will be adding in that stone border around all the islands. Over here is my wool farm from episode 14, and you can see the wall I've got back here. The texture of all those different blocks. That's the effect I want for the border I'm going to add to all the island cliffs. I messed around with a lot of different block palettes in my creative world, but I really like this one. I've been collecting all the blocks I'll need to get me started. I'm sure I'm going to need a whole lot more than this though. I'm going to do a fly around of all the area I'm going to make those walls on. All over the farming island. Over the mainland area as well. And I really think I made a mistake by pre-building the walls with just stone brick over here. It's going to take so long to replace the blocks rather than just building up from the bottom. I think that's going to be so tedious, but that's what podcasts are for. But the walls will be replaced all the way around here as well. So I think I'll do that all in a long play, or maybe two. I feel like the repetitive block placing will make for some really nice Minecraft sounds for a little ASMR. So if you're into that kind of thing, keep your eyes peeled on my channel. I really love the sounds of Minecraft. But that's it for today. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. I have some really cute and fun builds coming up, so consider subscribing if you're enjoying my little Minecraft world. And thank you again. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.